If I pay $150 to get into a haunted house, I'm fucking one of them monsters. Bet.
Oh, it's the Can't Get Any Worse podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all well. My lord, what an opening clip, and my lord, what a morning as per usual. And straight off the bat, this dickhead did not put this on focus mode. So let's quickly do that, and then we're going to rip into our opening clip. All right, let's play that bad boy back. What is this guy on about? Where's my mouse? Here we go.
If I pay $150 to get into a haunted house, I'm fucking one of them monsters. Bet.
And fair call, you know what I mean? Like, that is a lot of money to pay just for a haunted house. If I'm paying $150, I want to have snuggles after I get scared, okay? Oh, God. Haunted houses are just horny escape rooms at this point, okay? All right. Now we're there. The podcast is well underway. And like I said, it has been a morning and I am rattled, but that's okay because I feel like when I come in here and I talk to you guys, I start to feel centered again. I start to find myself. So I'm hoping that is what comes to fruition throughout this episode. So let's minimize this old bloke over here. And look, straight off the bat, the first thing I'm stressing about, I don't know if this episode is being recorded right now. Switched my camera on this morning, and the battery logo is like orange with a line through it. I've done some Googling, things like that. And it says that this is due to the battery being overheated or like just a couple of whole other issues, okay? Now, the camera is working. I've done a couple of test records. It seems to be recording. But if the camera cuts out halfway through this episode, that is why. And I'm just going to have to either go to a camera shop after this or, I don't know, ask ChatGPT how to fix it. So fingers crossed, the camera is pushing through this episode and you guys on YouTube are seeing my stupid face up on your screen right now. So other than that, guys, let's move into the other chaos. I was supposed to record a video this morning. I was supposed to be on the glorious Gateway motorway right now. Any Brisbane listeners, you know how much chaos that would be this time of the morning. Actually, you guys don't even know what time of the morning it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I talk to you guys and I think that you guys are just sitting here with me right now going through my life with me, which I guess in a weird way you are. Like, you just sit there, you listen to my tantrums every week, and yeah, to be honest, I sit there and I go, why do these people listen to me? And to that, I say I appreciate you all. But anyway, I had anyone that follows me on my personal socials, at Jimmy Misson, give it a follow, will know that I'm doing like a bit of a, what am I calling it? Like a boxing series, I suppose you'd say. Just trying to land myself a position on an undisclosed boxing event that's happening in 2026. Thou shall not be named, okay? This boxing event is like Voldemort at this stage. No one's allowed to talk about it. But anyone that does follow the podcasting game clearly knows what the fuck it is. So, lined up my week 2 video. Cracking idea. I was absolutely stoked that I came up with this. I pitched it to the content creator. And look, I still think it's going to fucking go ahead. So let's just name and shame him. Jimmy Judge, food eating champion. Pitched him a cool idea. He fell for it straight away. He's like, dude, I fucking love that. Let's do it. We lined up all the logistics, found a gym that we could film in, yada, yada, yada. And then he messaged me about 10 minutes ago. He goes, brother, any chance we could postpone because don't want to get too graphic. And I don't even know if the man wants this out in public. But I've got to state my case, okay? He messaged me. He goes, bro, I did a spicy food challenge last night. Things are not looking great for me this morning. If you're following if you're catching my drift. And let's just say I'm glad I'm not in the same room as him right now because that drift that I would be catching would be fucking disgusting, okay? But yeah, shout out to him. If all goes to plan, we are filming that Wednesday this week, so that'll be, technically speaking, week 3. So I have just shot a DM to about 3 influencers / MMA fighters / boxers that I know that are in a close vicinity to me. and I'm hoping at least one of them has nothing on today and they can film a bit of content with me. Other than that, I'm thinking worst case, I'm just going to have to go to the gym and film a bit of content by myself, just pull myself through a hectic boxing cardio session, I suppose, and just hopefully get some sort of content from that, which you guys know me. I think I'll be able to get something from it, but that's absolute worst case. So if you see that video come out, that's the other thing. The other option was just wait till Wednesday, film this video with Jimmy, but I just want to stay consistent and post every Tuesday afternoon, and just keep like that series consistent. People know what time it's going to drop. It's like an exciting part of the week, much like you guys listening to the podcast. So, we will see what happens with that. But, I don't know. Don't know where else to go from that. So let's crack into what has happened this week. I'm going to take a sneaky little sip. Oh, yeah, that is some good H2O. I don't have a Celsius this week. Celsius, hit your boy up. Where's my fucking sponsorship? I'm joking. That was aggressive. Oh, my Lord. But, yeah, crazy week this week. And the fact that both of these things happened on the 1 week, oh, God, there's no bigger way to tear at a parent's heartstrings than just drop both your kids in 2 milestone events in their childhood, okay? Let's start off with the first one because it's what happened first. Parker, my youngest child, talk about him all the time. You guys know he has his issues, okay? Whatever you want to call them, but he's very shy, very awkward, doesn't eat anything. He is just, he's like my biggest fear in life, okay? Just keeping that precious little kid protected from the outside world. And this week, he had his first big thing, his first school excursion that he went on. And I was like, oh, dear God, please protect my small little child out there. I was like, I hit Nikita up. I was like trying to play it tough at the start. And I'm like, oh, he'll be fine. He'll be all good. And then like about a week out, I was like, can you like message the school and see if they need any more like parent chaperones or anything? I was just going to take the day off work and just go and watch Parker all day. And like, she's like, oh, I thought that as well, but they're all full. They don't need any more helpers. And I'm like, fuck. So then my other option was like, oh, I might just throw a sickie and just they went to like the Queensland Museum up at South Bank, okay? And my next thought was I'll just throw a sickie and I'll just go up there and I'll follow them from a distance and I'll just make sure everything's okay. And then straight away, red flags just started popping up in my head. And I'm like, well, if they're popping up in my head, guarantee they're going to be popping up in the teachers' heads when they turn around. They'd be like, who's that creepy dude following us all day in a trench coat and a mustache? I probably would have been arrested, which probably would have been more traumatic for Parker than whatever happened that day. Anyway, I spend the whole day stressing, hoping that my small child is okay out there in the real world. And I go to pick him up. Straight away, the teachers come over to me. And look, they know how we are. So they're like, oh, Parker had a really good day today. He had so much fun. And I was like, thank God. And I'm like, oh, any dramas or anything? They're like, no, all good. And then she goes, oh, actually, there was one thing. And I've gone, oh, my God, here we go. What has happened? What is going to be the traumatic event that just sticks in this kid's head? And she goes, everything was fine, but on the bus ride home, he dropped his water bottle on the bus and water went everywhere. And I was like, oh, there it is. That's the traumatic event that's going to stick in this kid's head. That's going to form his personality. That's going to form his childhood memories, things like that. You know, like when I was a kid, I told that story on the podcast, and Adrian and Ash were like, oh, you poor soul. And when I told Nikita, like throughout our relationship, she was like almost in tears. But when I was around, no, actually it was older than that. I think it was like grade 1 or 2 or something. And my parents saved up for that Looney Tunes hat that I wanted for all that time. And then I wore it to school one day and a kid took it off my head and just threw it in the piss trough in that pool of piss. And I was just like, oh God, picked it up, washed that bad boy and just slapped it back on my head. Nothing was going to break my stride. Okay. What's that song from the 90s? Ain't nothing going to break my stride. I forget the second line, but you guys are following. So there I am. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be so upset by this. And I'm like, was he okay? They're like, yeah, he didn't care. And I was just like, oh, I was crying myself to sleep just thinking this poor kid has just dropped his Lilo and Stitch water bottle. He's probably going to be panicking, but apparently he didn't give a fuck. So I got him in the car. I'm like, how was your day today? And it was like my AI was stuck on a loop, like an autistic AI loop of just dinosaur facts and like World War facts. I saw a real tank today. I saw a T-Rex bone, blah, blah, blah. So the kid had fun. I was stressing over nothing. And yeah, all's well that ends well. Is that the saying? I think so. I don't even know if that makes sense to what that story. Oh, but let's get on to the second one. If my heart and soul wasn't done enough at that point, Weston's first school camp, and this is probably, look, as stressful as Parker's excursion was, this was probably the one I was most stressed about. Like your child out there alone for the night without you to defend them. What if the home invasion happened then and I wasn't there to defend? So that's what was running through my head. Now, the big thing was it wasn't really like a big school camp. Like they didn't go anywhere. They just slept in the school chapel for the night. And they just called that their like, what grade's he in? Like grade 3 school camp. And I guess it's just it's like a trial run for the kids, I suppose, and the parents. And just see how they go away from their parents, have a bit of a sleepover. And Westy was just keen as fuck for all this. This is all he was talking about for the last like 3 weeks, okay? He was excited for the whole like sleeping bag thing. He was excited, like he had to pick what cereal he had the following morning. And he's like, oh, I don't know what cereal to pick. It was like the biggest decision of his life. And I was like, oh my God, okay. All right, this is exciting for him. Let's try and be excited as well. And so, yeah, the big plan was he went to school Thursday. So we didn't see him from like Thursday morning. I didn't see him from Wednesday night because I go to work early, obviously, and Nikita does the drop-off on Thursdays. So I didn't see him from Wednesday night to Friday afternoon when I picked him up. And so that whole time period as well, just stressing the fuck out. And so, yeah, he went to school that day. Then they had the sleepover in the chapel. Then the following day, they went to Paradise Country down the Gold Coast. I would argue the worst theme park on the Gold Coast. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's basically just a glorified farm. There's no rides or anything. I think the only ride there is like a train ride or something, but who knows? So yeah, I was just up all night stressing about what could possibly happen. Oh fuck, that was good English, hey? I was stressing about what could possibly be happening on the school camp. I'm doing like check my iPhone to a kid that doesn't even have an iPhone, just hoping that somehow his DNA would ping onto my iPhone and be like, he's safe, don't stress, get some sleep. So yeah, I went and picked him up Friday afternoon. Again, just preparing myself for the worst. Like, oh, Dad, it was so bad. I got bullied the whole school camp. Nobody hung out with me. I went to get my dinner and I dropped it on the floor, so I didn't eat since Wednesday. That's what I prepared myself for. And yet again, much like the whole Parker thing, straight away, before I even said, hey, Westy, how was camp? Just starts rattling off the stories. Oh, Dad, that was so much fun. Oh, it was the best. I want to do it again. Can't wait for next year's camp, blah, blah, blah. Just a constant flow of his voice, just no pauses, no breaks, no breathing. And I'm like, oh, that's good. Then he hits me with this bad boy, okay? Now, this is not what you want to hear. He goes, oh, you know what I can't wait for? I'm like, what's that, buddy? He's like, grade 6 camp, because then we go to the snow and Sydney and Canberra and I'm gone for 7 days. And I'm like, oh, that sounds scary. He's like, nah, I'm so keen. And he's like, you know what? I'm like, what's that? He's like, imagine if something bad happened on that camp. There's no way you're getting to me quickly. Oh, God. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? I told Nikita, I'm like, do you know what he said to me? This little psychopath said to me. And she's like, he's just excited. Just let him have his moment. And I'm like, fuck me. That's not what you do to this dad, okay? You've just caused me anxiety over a longer distance. Now I'm just stressing about, that's in like 3 years' time. And now I'm going to stress for the next 3 years, just worried that something's going to go wrong. And like, again, remember another story from the early days of the podcast. That is the exact same school camp, okay? Westy goes to the same primary school I went to as a kid. So we're like slowly going through the same experiences and stuff. Now, that school camp, apparently they fly there these days, which is insane, okay? We had to catch a bus for like a fucking 20-hour bus ride or however long it was. And I spoke about that time. We pulled up to a regional McDonald's and I go to jump on the bus, get all the way to the back seat, sit down, look to my left and right and go, these aren't my fucking friends. I just got on some random bus and I almost ended up in a whole new life. So yeah, now I'm worried about that. I'm worried that Westy's going to get on the wrong plane or something and end up in Dubai. Who fucking knows what's going to happen? But let's scroll down. Where am I? Oh, that's right. Okay. This ties in perfectly. Speaking about Westy, we're obviously in the final term of school, I think. Yeah, this is the final term. Yeah, this year has gone so quick. So we were sitting around the other night having dinner and we were discussing with Westy. We're like, oh, grade 4 next year. You stressing? And he's like, nah, it'll be all good. Now, Westy had a pretty cushy schooling career in terms of teachers, okay? He's always had the soft teachers, the pushovers, if you will. And Nikita and I have always wondered, what is he going to do when he gets like a proper teacher? You know what I mean? One of those teachers at school that you fucking hate. They don't let you have any fun and they're just riding you 24/7. And to be fair, that was probably 80% of my teachers, okay? I was their favorite target. And so we started talking to Westy. We're like, do you know who your teacher's going to be? He's like, oh, not yet, but we sort of know the two options. And I'm like, oh, are they nice? He's like, not really. They're both pretty mean. They're real bossy, yada, yada, yada. And we're like, oh, okay. We're like, who are you hoping he gets? And he said some teacher's name, I forget. For the sake of the story, say it's Miss Smith. Something simple, something easy. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Let's hope you get her. I'm like, who's the one you don't want to get? Now, this was unexpected. He just goes, yeah, I just hope I don't get Miss Wanky. And I've gone, it was just an awkward silence. I've gone, what did you just say? He's like, Miss Wanky, she's the other teacher. And I've just gone, bro, you cannot drop a name like that. Nikita and I have looked at each other across the table and we've just started pissing our pants to each other. We're crying, laughing, trying to keep ourselves composed. And Westy's just sitting there like, why the fuck are these people laughing? Why are my parents laughing over this teacher's name? And it's like, I don't know. It felt like he'd invented some sort of weird porn parody. You know what I mean? I felt like I was going to jump on Pornhub and just see Miss Wanky teaches year 4. Oh, God, I hope he doesn't get Miss Wanky. For the sake of my whole 2026, if I need to go to parent-teacher interviews and address a woman called Miss Wanky, I don't think I've got that in me, guys. You guys know how immature I am. So pray for me, ladies and gentlemen. Pray for me. After that, let's rip into our next Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip. I think it is this bad boy. Nah, not that one. That is our good friend that we've got coming up. It is this one. How did I miss this fine man? Let's drag this over and minimize it so I can... All right, sweet. We ready for the next one?
Send it to somebody who is a good boy. Yes, you're a good boy. Good boy. Who is a good boy? You're a good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
That guy made me so creamy, guys. I don't know if he made you guys creamy. That was like ASMR for someone who's not allowed near playgrounds. Oh, God. I need to get that guy off my fucking screen. Go away, you weird European man. All right, I'm going to have a sip and then we're going to rip into our next one. All right. Saturday. This has not been a good week to be a fucking dad, okay? Like not in a... Oh, that came out wrong. Let's just say it's been a stressful... Oh, I just dropped my fucking phone. It's been a stressful week for me to be a dad, okay? Now, the next curveball I had... Westy's obviously started basketball again. We've been through it. We don't need to go into that. And Saturday, I had Sonny's at Margate, which is a midday gig. And I was like, fuck, I hope his game lines up with the Sonny's gig, yada, yada, yada. And, of course, his game was like an hour and a half before Sonny's. And it takes me an hour to get to Sonny's, okay, from my place. So I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to... Like, I didn't want to miss his game. So I'm like, I'll just come for the first quarter and I'll watch it. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this story. Let's zoom back to a few hours earlier when he had training. So he has training 7 a.m. Saturday mornings, and I get there, and there's a new kid in the team. And I was like, and like I've said, his whole team is relatively new. They're new to us, and some of them are new to basketball, like never played before. So it is what it is. Luckily, like this team is so much more chilled than last season's. Like last season's was just a boot camp. It was like, we have to win no matter what fucking cost. Now, again, I don't know how to fucking say this politely. So let's hope the basketball algorithm doesn't pick this up and just start feeding it to my son's club. I think any parents with their kids in sport will know exactly what I'm about to say. But every team has at least one parent, potentially even a couple, that you just can't fucking stand, okay? Now, there was a parent on Saturday of one of the new kids, and straight off the bat, I could tell he was one of those parents, one of those like cocky, live through your child type person. And I actually text Adrian and Ash about this. I go, look, this is what just happened. Is this a classic James overreacting, or do I have a leg to stand on here and this was actually weird? And luckily, they both said, yeah, that's fucking weird. And that is why you guys are getting to listen to it on the podcast. So we go to basketball training, and straight away, this kid's dad, the kids start training for about 5 minutes or so. And all of a sudden, this kid's dad was coaching from the sidelines for a bit. Shut the fuck up and let the coaches coach. If you wanted the coaching position, you could have jumped in the group chat a few weeks ago and been like, yeah, I'm happy to give it a chat. I'm happy to give it a crack. Anyway, he goes from coaching on the sidelines, he picks up his son's ball, and he goes and lines up on the baseline with the rest of the team, with the rest of the 7 to 10-year-old boys and girls, sorry. And I've gone, okay, maybe he's going to help his son dribble or something. Who knows what's about to happen? No. This guy begins to join in with the drills. He starts to dribble up and down with the rest of the team. He starts to do all the like drills and shit like that. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing right now? Like, this dude is out here pretending he's in the NBA combine. The fucking, I know that's what they call it for the NFL. Is it the same for NBA? But it was to the point where kids were waiting on him to finish drills so that they could have their turn. And I was just like, bro, this is not your redemption arc. I don't know what messed up childhood you had. Maybe you had like that buzzer beater. You had that winning shot when you were in under 10s basketball. You made the shot and you missed. And now you're just here trying to redeem yourself. I don't fucking know. But I'm just sitting over on the bench and I'm just Googling ways to nicely tell a parent to sit the fuck down without causing an argument at your under 10 son's basketball fucking event. But my Lord, it just completely stunned me and took me off guard. I was like, this guy is actually insane. So I don't know if you guys feel the same. Luckily, Adrian and Ash are on the same page as me. So I just got to pencil that down to that guy was a fucking weirdo. Next story. I just fucking mentioned I had Sunnies on Saturday. Now, because of the whole chaos pre-Sunnies, I was driving to Sunnies and I had about a quarter of a tank of fuel left, right? When I left home. And I was like, fuck, I really need fuel, but I am cutting it tight as it is for time. Like, for Sunnies, it's a rooftop bar, so I've got to carry all my gear upstairs. Stages, PAs, lighting, everything. And so that takes time. So I was like, I don't have time to get fuel before here. So I pushed it to the limit, got in the car after the gig, after packing up, turned the ignition on, fuel lights on, and I'm like pretty much already touching the red line. And I'm like, that's definitely not going to be enough to get me home. But I was like, I'm going to push this bad boy. I'm going to get as close to home as I can before I have to find somewhere to fill up. And to put the added pressure on, one of Westy's best mates had his birthday party that night. So I had to get home in time for all that shit to happen. So I start going home, and straight away I'm like, I am definitely not going to fucking make it home. And I don't know if you guys do these like mental gymnastics or something. And to be fair, I'm not the type of guy to let my car get that empty. Like, I usually always fill up when I got a quarter of a tank. And it's like, I never let it get below that. But from time to time, I find myself in these circumstances, okay? Anyway, I start doing these like mental gymnastics where I just start like, obviously you're supposed to look at your fuel gauge from your driver's seat, just front on, and that's how you know how much fuel you've got. But I just start like tilting my head and looking at it from different angles to start making myself feel better. Oh god, I'm like squinting and just looking at it sideways, just like, is that on empty, or do I have? I reckon I've got a little bit left. Like, if I lay on the floor of my car and look up, it basically looks like I have a full tank. I reckon I could push this to the limit. So, yeah, my car was just begging me to refuel, and I'm just looking at it from. I was like a hippie to my fuel gauge. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think you've just got to look at it from a different perspective. Oh god, I hope you guys can relate to that. I think this is my last little story from the week. And again, if you follow me on socials, you would have seen this bad boy. But Sunday yesterday, Nikita does the groceries on Sunday mornings, so started trying to do little bits and pieces with the boys. And yesterday, Westy goes, I want to go to the courts and I want to practice my 3-point shots and things like that, which is like, it's kind of good, Westy's. And I said this to him last season, but it didn't really click until this season, I suppose. And I'm not like the parent I just fucking discussed, where I'm like training with it. I'll just tell him little bits and pieces, and hopefully he picks it up. And now eventually he has. And I'm like, you're one of the shortest people on your team, okay? So like, you need to be like the Steph Curry type character. You need to set people up. You need to take the long range shots, things like that. I'm like, if you just get dialed in on your free throws and your 3-point shots and things like that, you'll start to shine in a couple of years when you can like start making that distance. So he started working on his 3-point shots, and he started sinking like, I don't know, let's give him a percentage. I reckon if he takes 10 shots, he might get 5, maybe even 6 of those 10, which is fucking crazy to me. Like, he'll make his 3 and I'll be like, oh, that's easy. I'll take mine and just completely fucking get an air ball. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's it. We're going home. Anyway, so I take him to the park. We play basketball for about half an hour or so. Hot and sweaty. And obviously Parker is not exactly the most athletic kid. And he's like, can we go play on the park now? So I'm like, all right, Westy, let's have a little break. We'll go play on the park, and then we'll wrap up with a bit more basketball. And Westy's like, yeah, okay, cool. So they're playing on the playground. I'm sitting on this little concrete ledge, and beside me are these cool, like, stainless steel drums, okay? You tap each drum, it makes a different sound, and it's cool. They're more or less like a bongo. So you slap them with your hand, they make a cool sound. And it rained the night before. So the top of all these bongos is just full of a pool of water. And I've gone, oh, that's fun. That's a fun little activity. Not only do I get to make a cool sound from the drum, but I get to splash this water. And I don't know, like, I do this weird thing, okay? I like to have moist hands. This is fucking, if I ever do get diagnosed with autism or ADHD or something, play this clip to the psychiatrist or whatever. My old work used to rip on me so bad because I'd carry a pump water bottle with me, and I'd just like squirt my hands every 10 minutes and just rub them together just to feel moist, like to the point where they're just like, you're like some sort of amphibian. And I'm like, yep, I'm basically a human frog. Anyway, so I like the sensation of splashing in water, okay? Just saying that out loud, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. You're basically like a giant 3-year-old. Anyway, let's move past all that. I start splashing in the water, having the best time of my life. I'm having the sickest time. And as I'm splashing, I just start to get the weirdest aroma. The aroma that can only be described as a smell of piss, okay? I'm splashing and I'm like, this does not smell like rainwater. This smells like piss water, okay? And I just got that feeling. I don't know if you guys have ever had the feeling of you're like basically baptizing yourself with a bladder. But it dawns on me that I am probably splashing in some homeless man's piss right now. And it ruined my entire Sunday. I will not lie to you guys. So yeah, if you're in my local area and you know the exact park with the bongo drums, do not splash in the water because it is most likely going to be Jared's piss. Jared is a homeless man that appears on my local community groups more often than you'd like to see for quite questionable activities, okay? Anyway, that ties perfectly into our next Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip. Podcast favorite. We've played a couple of this guy's clips. If you're not if you're not following this guy on Instagram, what the fuck are you doing with yourself? Let's play one of our favorites, Mr. Will Blunderfield. What are you up to this week, mate? Oh, nice trickle. Oh.
So I'm imbuing my lemonade with masculine prowess and potency.
Yep.
What do you want more of in your life? And I'm just rubbing my long Canadian 5 skin on the tip to get the residual lemonade off. And I'm going to sample this as if it were divine masculine potency, because that's what it is. That's why what I imbued it with. Oh, it tastes like sour popcorn.
My God. Just draining his Canadian 5 skin. Imagine being so zen that dehydration is your kink. My Lord. Sour popcorn. I don't know. I refuse to admit that would taste like sour popcorn. But hey, I'm not willing to try it. So I will take your word for it, Mr. Will Blunderfield. Thank you very much for making an appearance again. Let's get on to my weekend comedy. I'm going to take a little sip before I rip into this. Ooh. So, first gig was Sand Social for Sit Down Comedy Club over the north side. So it's a big hike for me. So I was like, well, I'm going to make the drive worth it, okay? I'm going to basically just run material from the solo show and just dial that in again. Like, try and get it better than I obviously did on the solo show. So the whole drive there, I was rehearsing a little bit, and I was like, nah, it is what it is. If I bomb, I bomb. If I do well, then so be it. Just filling myself with confidence. Now, what happened next was possibly the only thing that could have completely drained my self-confidence I had in running the new gear. And I walk into the gig, and who do I see sitting at the sound booth? None other than the owner of Sit Down Comedy Club. He just so happened he wanted to be the sound tech that night. I don't want to say he came out solely just to see me, but I guess we'll never know. So I'm like, fuck, are you joking? Like, straight away. I'm like, I'm definitely not running the new gear here. I am not doing my new shit in front of the owner. Like, I felt like I was on an audition, okay? And I just spent the whole time. I was on about halfway through the second bracket. So I had all night just to stew on it. And I'm like, I'm not running the new gear in front of him and just bombing. But then at the same time, I'm like, I feel like he's seen the classics before, because he pops in from time to time and he just checks in on what's going on. He gets his sound techs to like tell him who's doing good and things like that. And so I was just like, fuck, do I run the new gear? Do I do what I wanted to do? And then I just had that fucking epiphany, if you will. I was just like, nah, you know what? I planned on doing this. This gig is mainly for me, so fuck it. I'm just going to do what I need to do for what I think is best in my comedy career. If I bomb in front of him, fucking so be it. I won't be the first and I won't be the last. And so, yeah, I was like, let's do it. Got up there. And look, it was a relatively rough night. There was probably, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 comedians before me that really got the crowd on their side, and the rest of them it was a rough night, okay? Let's put it that way. So I was preparing myself for a rough night on new gear, and I got up there, and I was did the first new one, and luckily the crowd ate it up, and I was like, thank fuck for that. And every now and then I could just hear a giggle coming from the sound booth, and I was like, thank fuck, this is not an absolute train wreck. And look, I don't want to say it wasn't like a standing ovation, but based on how the night was going for the other acts, I pretty much crushed. And I was like, yes, thank fuck that worked out well. So I got another gig for Sit Down tonight at Newmarket. So we'll see if he's a sound tech again. And then the other thing I'm juggling up is like, all right, do I do another chunk of the show and work on it? Or, yeah, I don't know. Because I'm like, oh, should I work on the same one? And just, because there are a few bits in it that I was like, okay, I wouldn't mind swapping that around, playing with a few words there. But then I'm like, okay, if he's the sound tech again, I don't want him to hear the same set. So do I do another new chunk? So I don't know. I'm just going to weigh that up when I get there and see who the sound tech is, I suppose. But yeah, fun times. So now I'm just waiting for my call for the Mitzi show. Oh, it's coming. It's got to come eventually. But then I had Sunnies on Saturday for West Park Productions, which is the one that we run. Like I said, it's a mission getting there and then carrying all the shit up and down the stairs. But it's turned into a really fun gig. The lineup on Saturday, which was a good one, we've started getting a couple of the bigger names, I suppose you would, now that it's turned into a paid gig. And look, I was emceeing it again. I got up and I just started trying to talk to the crowd, and they were just not. It was not. You get this every now and then, and it's like, it happens, okay? The crowd was just not giving back anything. They did not want to be spoken to. They did not want to be part of the show, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to be either if I was sitting in a comedy crowd. And shout out, there was a table up the very back corner. A couple of them came and saw me after the show, followed me on Instagram, and said they were going to listen to the pod and shit. So if you guys are listening right now, thank you very much for being my safety net on Saturday. I just pushed through. I basically had to do my set. And once I started doing the jokes, everyone started laughing. So I was like, okay, they're just here to hear jokes. They don't want to be spoken to. They don't want to be played around with. So I just did basically a set to kick off the show. Went okay-ish. And then the comedians just started coming on one after another. And yeah, everyone had pretty good sets. Now the final act was anyone that's in the Brisbane region knows this lady, Anissa, on the absolute blow up at the moment. She's on Thank God she was on Thank God You're Here. I think she was on The Project when that was around, and now her next one she's on Talking About Your Generation on Channel 10. And I don't think there's any harder working comedian in the Southeast Queensland region. Like, she's doing multiple gigs every night of the week, and she's an absolute crusher. And she just got up there and showed us exactly what the fuck she can do. And she hit me up. So everyone had 10-minute spots, and she hit me up before the show. She's like, do you mind if I do 15 just so I can like run some new gear as well? I'm like, whatever you want to do. Like, fucking, we're on no time limit. Stage is there. And then at the show, she rocked up and saw how fun the crowd was. She's like, look, any chance I could push to 20? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, fucking, let's do it. So she got up there and absolutely destroyed for 20 minutes. Not one joke bombed, nothing. So if you follow her on socials and you see her at a show or anything, go check her out. I'm half tempted to hit her up to come on the podcast. But I don't know. I don't want to seem like a dickhead. Like, imagine if I play one of these Can't Get Any Worse clips to her and she's just like, I've got to go. You're about to ruin my reputation on Channel 10. So shout out to her. Let's play our last. Is this our last? Yeah, our last Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip of the episode. We've got a lovely lady. So lady listeners of the show, this one's for you. Let me drag her across. And minimize. All right, here we go.
Every time I have to go pee a lot, I'm so proud of myself because that means I drink a bunch of water, and water is the elixir of life. Drink water.
My lord. This is what happens when kombucha goes to your brain, ladies and gentlemen. If she's this happy about her pee, imagine how happy she is about her period. My lord. She just turned into a fucking human seahorse. Oh, human seahorse. That could be an episode title. But yeah, shout out to her. All right, let's rip into things I've consumed this week. Let's kick it off with another fucking strong and powerful woman. Desley Robinson made her MVP debut yesterday, which is Jake Paul's boxing promotion. And she's already a do they call it two-time or do they call it I think they call it unified champ, actually. So I'm not going to quote which championship she has, but it might be IBC and WBO. She has both those middleweight titles. And, made her debut on MVP yesterday and got a second round knockout. And my lord, what a performance. So she retains both her titles, and she is a Logan girl. She lives about 10 minutes from me. And I know for the last maybe, 6 weeks or so, I was teasing a guest episode. I was like, I'm hoping this happens, yada, yada, yada. And that was her, okay? So we are going to line that up for when she gets back to Australia, and hopefully she brings her belts into the studio, or maybe we'll go and record in her fucking gym. Who knows? But shout out to Desley Robinson. That podcast will be coming soon. And look, hopefully she doesn't get back to Brisbane after that big win and just be like, pretend she doesn't know me, you know what I mean? Just be like, who the fuck is this weird Logan podcaster? So let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope she doesn't jump on some bigger podcasts. The other things, Morgan Wallen. Okay. Everyone knows one of the biggest country music artists in the world. Got a slight obsession with him. He did this like cover probably like 18 months ago now of Graveyard Whistling, and it's only been available on YouTube, which is annoying. Every time you want to listen to it, you got to go to YouTube. This video has like 8 million views or something like that, I'm pretty sure. Finally, this week came out on Spotify. So go check that one. Absolute belter of a song, Graveyard Whistling by Morgan Wallen. The other thing I've watched this week is Matt McCusker, one half of Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. My favorite podcast. Shane Gillis is on par with my favorite comedian with Tom Segura. And yeah, so I had to check this one out on Netflix. Everyone go give it a watch. Let's get the dogs in the top 10 on Netflix. But it's one of those things, okay? I fucking love Matt McCusker. I think he is one of the funniest podcasters in the world. Just the off the cuff, random shit that he comes out with is just so hilarious. And I've found this big thing, and like similar to Theo Von, Joe Rogan, all those people, I love their podcasting. But when I go and watch their stand-up, I'm like, yeah, it's good, but it's not like, I don't put it up there with my Shane Gillis's, my Tom Segura's, my Kevin Hart's, Dave Chappelle's, things like that. So yeah, it was still a fun special, things like that. And I'm just glad he got his Netflix special, and I hope it fucking boosts him into that next stratosphere. So go check that out if you are looking for something to watch. That brings us to our funny clip of the week. Now, this one is a long one, but my Lord, it is one of the funniest podcast clips I have seen in recent history, okay? Easily the last 12 months. So the booker for the Comedy Mothership, Joe Rogan's comedy club, is Adam, what's his last name? Adam, oh my God, if he's watching this, it's going to come to me. Anyway, we'll watch the clip, it'll come to me. So he was a guest on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast like a month or two ago, and he just told this story. Oh, Lord. One sec. The camera has just shut down. I'll be back. All right, we're back. Let's hope that we can quickly punch out the back end of this episode. I'm just going to quickly get this clip up, and we're going to play it. The camera might shut out again, but bear with me.
So the best story he told us I've ever heard was he's like, yeah, man, I used to play for the fucking Brewers, and we used to pull bags on each other all the time back in the day on other guys from other ball clubs. And by the way, a bag is a prank, and he called them bags.
The bag,
everyone called them bags.
The bag's so funny. That'll be in the in the language.
This is going to be in the vernacular forever, absolutely. So he's like, so one day we decide, this weekend we got the fucking Dodgers coming to Milwaukee, and we said, this is a perfect opportunity to pull a fucking bag on old Don Drysdale. So fucking Don Drysdale had a fucking whore in every city, but his fucking primo whore was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we decide, perfect opportunity for a fucking bag on Drysdale. So we decide, he didn't know, little did Don Drysdale know, I'm friends with the fucking chief of police in Milwaukee. So he's in this fucking hotel room with his primo whore, and we paid that fucking bitch off and pretend like she died, and had the fucking chief of police and some of his cops come bang down his fucking hotel room in the fucking middle of the night, and he thinks he killed this fucking bitch. And so they cuff him naked as the fucking day he was born, and he's crying in the fucking hallway, thinks his life's over, and I walk by, I say, hey, Drysdale, the bag's on you. Anyway, so 20 minutes later, I'm down in the fucking lobby having a drink, and Drysdale comes down. The fucker's still mad. I said, relax, it's a fucking bag.
Drysdale, the bag's on you.
Fuck me, that made me laugh. But if you go check out that episode, the whole episode is just like, so fucking good. But anyway, let's wrap this up before the camera overheats again. I have no gigs this week besides the one at Newmarket tonight, but I will have well and truly done that before this episode comes out. So the only things I do have to plug, UFC breakdown for UFC 321 out this Thursday. Get around it, go check it out, share it around. Other than that, I am in Bundaberg next week. So technically speaking, the show is sold out. But if you're in the Bundaberg region and you want to come have a chat or whatever, shoot me a DM. The room runner said we might be able to get some standing space for anyone else that wants to come along. So, yeah, hopefully I got some listeners in Bundaberg. But anyone that knows anything to do up that way, let me know. And, yeah, hopefully I can check it out. Other than that, guys, appreciate you guys listening. Send submissions via DM on Instagram at CantGetAnyWorsePodcast or send me an email at CantGetAnyWorsepod@gmail.com. I appreciate you all. Give us a 5-star rating. If you already have, steal your mum's phone or something and give me a 5-star rating on that one as well. Want to get as close to that 5 stars as we can. I think we're at about 4.5 at the moment. And yeah, keep sharing the podcast around. Let's keep this growth happening. I appreciate you all, and I will see you later.